R.I.P. in peace, John Madden. Oh wait, that was a hoax. Alright, you young whippersnappers, what with your current-gen Madden games and your Doritos, and you may only know the name John Madden and nothing about who this portly fellow is. The name at this point is almost meaningless. It just seems like an attachment to make the title more than just NFL 2016. Just to recap for you fucking millennials, John Madden was head coach of the Something Raiders from 69 to 78, winning Super Bowl 11 in 1977. Yes, Super Bowl 11. He then went on to be one of the most well-known commentators of the game up until 2008, and he even hosted SNL in 1982. You've probably heard some of his catchphrases.
Boom, the big hit.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Boom, the big hit.
But of course, his biggest successes to date have been his Tenactin and Miller Lite commercials. Anyway, if you wanted to play footballs on the go at the turn of the century, you had the choice of Blitz or Madden. Basically one wacky arcade nonsense game with weird, fundamental rule changes, and the other is just kind of your typical video game simulation football game. All right. Midway and EA were duking it out for a long time, until Midway went bankrupt and got bought out by Warner Brothers. Now EA actually owns the rights to NFL Blitz, oddly enough. The system saw 3 installments from each series, and both have licenses from the NFL. With that in mind, let's do it up, head-to-head styles. Which series is better?
Sunday, 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 prepare to get portable. Doritos and chicken wings proudly present the Gameboy Color football face-off of the century. Feature your fan favorite series, Madden NFL and NFL Blitz. And stick around for the 9th annual Donut Mountain and Touch Yourself celebration. Admission is free if you can handle it.
So here's the first Blitz game. What is this? What is happening? Fuck you, computer! If you're unaware, you need 30 yards to get a first down in Blitz instead of the normal 10. There's fewer players on the field. Pass interference is allowed. There's no penalty. The clock runs fast. And you'll spend a lot of time passing it around the field between your receivers, apparently. At least the game has an automatic free extra point thingy when you score a touchdown, though. That's kind of nice. You can still go for 2 points if you really want. The isometric view was a pretty novel idea, and the game is fast-paced, but overall it's not really worth playing for a long amount of time. The play can be frustrating as knowing where your passes are going or knowing where to cover receivers is difficult because of the perspective. You're not always on the screen together. Passing is made even more difficult because the receiver is determined by the direction of your QB. Being chased by a linesman? Too bad, asshole. The constant din of white noise gets irritating, and the playbooks are pretty disappointingly small. But I guess you don't really use running plays. I didn't. Passing is just the best thing to do. These little animations that play from time to time were kind of a novelty at first, but they're so pixelated it's hard to see what's going on. I found them a little more aren't you a sight for sore thighs? Oh, and you can enter codes with various effects. My rating, 2 EA Sports. Announcers out of 5. Madden 2000 is going to give you a goddamn headache before you even get to the title screen. Fuck. I like the more traditional overhead perspective, and the sheer number of options in the playbook is pretty astounding for the time. Selecting a receiver is much easier in this game than Blitz as well. Hit A after you snap the ball and you've got 3 options. It's a little tricky at first, but it becomes second nature pretty quickly. The audio is better here as well, with small bits of unobtrusive music and some pretty decent sound effects. No constant drone of white noise. The game feels a little choppy, but I guess it didn't really get in my way. I give this 3
the big hit
out of 5. Blitz 2000 has some fantastic audio.
Midway presents NFL Blitz 2000.
Except for the small amount of music. The voice clips are shockingly crisp.
First and 30. Second down. Back from center. Fumble!
It's really about the only good thing this time around, though. It's really too bad they went with this eagle eye perspective. Being directly overhead feels weird, and it's a little too up close to be able to keep track of your receivers at all. It's like you're above the stadium in the Goodyear blimp using a telescope. Overall, I think it's a step backwards from the first Blitz game, but that doesn't really say much. One
Back from center.
out of whatever.
Touchdown!
Madden 2001 has some sassy music. Man, both sequels really stepped up their audio game. The gameplay feels a bit faster this time too, a little less choppy, a little smoother. Selecting a play requires a little more scrolling, but I like the new passing system. It's as easy as hitting A or B, no more cycling through receivers. And you can much more easily catch a kickoff or punt. Pretty much everything about Madden 2001 is better than the original. Look at these dance moves.
Well, you don't like to say it's over until it's over, but this one's over.
This was the first of these games that I actually had fun for more than just a few minutes. I'll give it 3 Madden heads out of 4 Rob Fords. Blitz 2001 is actually pretty fun. You can switch between the isometric and top-down views if that's something you want to do. The voice clips are still crisp. The audio is just... This is probably the best audio of all the Game Boy Color football games. It's the sound effects, it's all just super classy.
He's going long!
It's a perfectly playable game if it's your thing. But I'm not a diehard Blitz fan, so I did eventually lose interest. But this did hold it for a while. It was a pretty fun game. I think I liked it the most of the Blitz games because it felt most like the Madden games, if that makes sense.
Decides to run! Touchdown!
3 lists of EA corporate acquisitions out of 5. Madden 2002 is pretty much the same as Madden 2001, which means it's good. It's fast-paced, but it doesn't have that weird Blitz feel to it. It looks pretty much the same, sounds pretty much the same. Oh, the pause music kind of sounds like Chocolate Rain. This is the best one. If you've got some loose change and you want a Game Boy Color football game, Madden 2001 or 2002 are the way to go. Congratulations, Madden.
The last thing I'd say was, don't worry about the horse being blind, just load the wagon. Let's go. I have no idea what it meant.
Yeah, the Blitz games were just a little awkward. But you know what you could also do? You could get Madden 2002 for the Game Boy Advance, which is light years ahead of this. Well, that's going to do it for me. How about you, John?
Well, that's a strategy. That's what the coaches do.
Yeah.
We've talked about offense, defense, the kicking game.
We did?
We've heard from some great players.
Hold on.
We've seen some great players.
Oh, jeez, with
We've
this
showed
guy.
you some things that you've never seen before.
John,
or heard before.
John, you're getting a
and
little...
we could go on and on like this for hours. But what the heck? I'll save that for my next video. But thanks for watching.
Couldn't have said it better myself. See you next time.
I have no idea what it meant.
Right here, you see he gets penetration right there.
Boom! The big hit.